Alright, hey guys. So today I'll be like, sorry for alright, shit. Sorry for not uploading for a while. It's just because I have like very inconsistent uploads. I'm usually too lazy, and to be honest, I guess I just don't put like a lot of effort into my videos. So, sorry for that. But to be honest, nobody's really like consistent to my channel, so I think we're good. But today I'll be like ranking World 0 classes on a tier list. So we're just gonna go from like tier 1 classes all the way to like tier 5. So Swordmaster, to be honest, the skills aren't really all that great. It does like decent damage. Again, this is all like opinion based. It's not fact based. Again, I'm not really good with like damage per second stuff, and I don't really know my facts that well. So again, this is just like my personal opinion for like likability. Swordmaster, I'm gonna put it in like C tier. It was the class that I started with, and yeah, it was cool, but again, the skills weren't that good. So alright. To be honest, Arcane Mage probably the best out of the starting three, but I feel like B tier. I feel like B tier might be a bit too high. But I feel like it's better than Swordmaster. We'll put it like C tier. But again, it's above Swordmaster. Someone got Defender. Again, Defender, it's good. It's pretty slow. It seems to do a good chunk of damage. I didn't have it. I've never used it. This is just guessing on like what I've seen. So I guess it seems good, but I guess that all the tier 1 classes are just like C tier. I'm gonna try not to put like all the like a 5 tier, every 5 tier class in S tier. I'm gonna try and like have some diversity. So now we're going to go to like second tier. Dual Wielder, in all honesty, Dual Wielder for me personally is like an A tier. The only reason that's not S tier is because it has great damage, it has some great attacks. But to be honest, in all honesty, the only thing that I really hate about it is like you have to get 2 weapons, which is like really, it might not seem like a lot, but it's really hard to main because that means that you have to get 2 zero swords. As a matter of fact, I was going to main Dual Wielder until I actually looked into it, and I kind of realized, you know what, this would be a massive inconvenience to have to like run every dungeon. So you need 2 zero swords, which is honestly just a huge inconvenience and kind of pointless. Next we got Guardian. Guardian will be our first B tier. It's acceptable, like it's okay. It does decent damage. It's slightly faster than people give it credit for, and it does some decent damage. So I enjoy it. It's good to play. It's kind of like just like a living, walking Berserk reference in the game, but it's cool. All right, now we got Elementalist. To be honest, it's like C tier. It's not horrific. Actually, D tier. Again, I could just like, the damage isn't all that crazy. Again, this is personal enjoyment, and personally, I just don't enjoy Elementalist. Like, it's a cool class, but again, I'm just not really a great fan of it. So next up, we're gonna do, what order should we do this in? All right, Mage of Light. Again, personal enjoyment. Mage of Light should honestly have its own class below Elementalist, because again, this is a supporter class. And I don't really have any like friends who play World 0 or anything. I'm not part of like any Discord, so I basically just always solo dungeons. Unless it's like a dungeon that I don't think I could handle on my own. So Mage of Light would just be like really like a massive inconvenience for me to use, and it'd be really pointless. So we're just like not gonna use that. Berserker, I like enjoyed this class. I think like damage wise, it's great. It's great for just taking out huge hordes of enemies at once, which is like my main strategy. And again, it comes along with the inconvenience of having to get 2 weapons. But, like, I don't really think that there's many people who main Berserker. Kind of an underrated and underused class. But next up, we got Paladin. I mained Paladin for the longest time. And I don't really main it anymore. But, it's a good class. It does a good amount of damage. It only really has that 1 offensive attack. But I think it could belong in, like, a solid A tier. Now, Dragoon, for personal enjoyment, we're going to go with Spirit Archer. I feel like I'm going to put... Alright, we're going to start with Demon. Demon is B tier. Again, this is a personal enjoyment class because I don't want to get like comments saying like, oh, this class is better than this one. This is just my personal enjoyment. So these I don't really enjoy playing. Every like first tier class is just a C tier. So Demon, it's fun. I remember how hard I worked to get Demon and how much I just like grinded. So it was fun to use. I like enjoyed it. And I feel like it's pretty balanced, but I feel like I'm just not a big fan of its attacks. So next up we got Spirit Archer. Spirit Archer is like a solid A. I've been told it's the best class in the game, which I'm gonna have to like disagree with. But it's a great class. It's super good offensively. It's good at taking out hordes of enemies. And honestly, again, this is just a personal enjoyment wise. I very much like this class. It's fun to use. You only need a bow, which is also good. It introduced bows to the game. Let's see, hold up. Alright, yeah, a lot of these classes, it's very common for a class to just introduce a new like weapon category to the game. Now we got Dragoon, which is the class that I've decided to main instead of Dual Wielder. I very much enjoy playing this class. It's good for taking out hordes of enemies, god damn, I can't speak, with its F attack. It could take out huge hordes, which is good. So again, it introduced the spear. If I'm correct, yeah, it introduced the spear attack. It has some great attacks, pretty good DPS, and I enjoy it. Now we got these two. Again, in terms of personal enjoyment, I'm gonna have to put this one in A tier. Warlord was the one that I accidentally prestiged first instead of Summoner. Summoner, again, I know that I'm just speaking out based off personal enjoyment, but Summoner, even like aside from personal enjoyment, even with simply like just how good it is as a class, I'm gonna have to put it in S tier. It does great damage, great attacks, super enjoyable. Summoner is like broken as a class. Warlord's good, honestly, very underrated. I've heard people say it's bad, and honestly, I can't see the flaws. It has a great parry attack, which I really like. It like brings back a ton of damage, and honestly, it's also good for like just like banging out attacks. So yeah, that's like again the personal enjoyment tier list. Hold up, we're just gonna shrink this a little bit. I can't, but it's pretty good. So Elementalist and Mage of Light are at the bottom. Again, I don't really enjoy playing these classes. I can't even remember the last time I played Elementalist. Last time I played Mage of Light was like World 3. Don't see really a big point to this class unless you're doing support and you play with other people very, very frequently. That's the only really time I could see you maining this class. We've got Defender, Arcane Mage, and Sword Master. Again, they're just like average classes. They're the starting classes. I think Arcane Mage is the best out of the 3 starting classes. Sword Master, and then I don't really think Defender is all that great, but again, I haven't ever really used it, so I couldn't tell you for sure. Guardian and Demon are both in B tier, and Demon is definitely a bit above Guardian, because, it was the final class for a long amount of time. Guardian's good. I don't really have any complaints with it, and again, this is on enjoyability, so I kind of like it. Warlord, I feel like it's like not S tier, but it might be higher than A tier, so it's like A plus tier. But yeah, so I'll put Warlord there. Then we got Paladin, which is what I mained for a super long time, Berserker, Dual Wielder, and Spirit Archer, and then we got Dragoon and Summoner. So thanks for watching. This is going to be my first upload of a while, and I'll see you